Glasgow travelled to Thomond Park on a high off the back of 3 wins at home and sitting 4th in the table. However, the Scots' only previous victory at the Limerick venue dated back 8 years to 2006. And Munster's form at home this season has been second to none. 13 straight victories in all competitions, and after a great win in Europe against Toulouse the previous week, Rob Penny's men were favourites with the bookmakers to take the points. However, it was the visitors who struck first, and it didn't take them long to make their mark. Up-and-coming Scottish international Jonny Gray found the gap close in, and JJ Hanrahan was unable to stop the 6'6" lock from barging over for the first score of the match. 4 minutes gone, Duncan Weir, back in the side in place of Rory Jackson, converted for an early 7-0 lead to the Scots. And it was Weir again who notched the next points in the match with a penalty from a central position, leaving Warriors 10 points ahead with only 9 minutes on the clock. However, Munster didn't panic, and they came very close to getting back into the game when CJ Stander made a lunge for the line, only to come up just short. The intervention of Glasgow scrum half Chris Cotter proved vital. No try, but the signs were more promising for the men in red, and they struck in the 18th minute. Off the line out, Simon Zebo made an incisive break before being held up inside the 22. Stander had been man of the match for Munster against Toulouse the previous week, and when the South African received the ball out wide, he made sure of the 5 points for Rob Penny's men. Hanrahan missed the conversion, but at 5 points to 10, Munster were now within striking distance of Glasgow, with plenty of time to go in the first half. But within 5 minutes, Warriors had stretched their lead once again with a well-worked score. The ball spread wide to Sean Maitland, and he danced past a couple of Munster tacklers before grounding. An excellent finish from the New Zealand-born Scottish international, and to the surprise of the home faithful, the visitors were 15-5 ahead. And 4 minutes before the break, the Scots went even further ahead. Munster clearly suffering a post-European Cup hangover. Man of the match, Josh Strauss, forcing his way over for a third Glasgow try despite the best efforts of the Munster defenders. The South African flanker with a vital score for Gregor Townsend's men. Munster at 6s and 7s, and when Weir converted, Warriors had a 22-5 half-time lead. The visitors locked the door in the second half, Munster unable to make the breakthrough, and indeed 10 minutes after the interval, Ryan Wilson was unlucky to be denied what would have been a bonus point try for Glasgow. The big number 8 unable to get the touchdown in a forest of arms and legs. Good defence from the Munster men, and the scoreline remained unchanged. Munster were lacking penetration and rarely looked like scoring. Zebo to Keatley here, but when the sub knocked on, everyone in the ground knew that Keith Earls' touchdown was in vain, and the play was called back by referee Nigel Owens. And that was that. So at the end, Munster's 100% home record was gone. A massive win for Glasgow in their bid to make the playoffs come season's end. Munster's hopes of a home semi-final take a knock. In front of a crowd of 14,000, it finished Munster 5, Glasgow Warriors 22.